Pittsburgh Steelers fans are tired of the lack of performance of offensive coordinator Matt Canada. The Pittsburgh Steelers fans have started a petition to fire Matt Canada, and it's titled Fire Matt Canada. Man, Matt Canada, if you look at what he's been doing since he's been the offensive coordinator with the Steelers, is not good. Matt Canada is yet to produce 400 total yards. You know, it's just not getting it done. His offense is predictable. The same old same. If you look at this is what's floating around as well. You know, Kenny Pickett's wristband leaked. If you could see the plays that's on there, you know, Matt Canada specials. And Matt Canada only had one good year where he ran an offense that was fluent, and that was at Pitt. You know, and I don't think that's not enough to keep him around with the Steelers, because you're wasting time with Matt Canada. You're not going to have this talented roster, you know, forever. And it don't look as talented as it is because you have Matt Canada and he's not utilizing the people right. He's not utilizing the players right. I mean, Darnell Washington, I mean, what's going on with him? I know he's a blocking tight end, and you know you got Pat Freiermuth on, you know, he's the main tight end, but you mean to tell me you cannot put a package, a two tight end set with him and Patty Fry and make something happen? You know, I mean, where's the creativity? Where is it at? So that's the jet sweeps. I mean, the only thing Matt Canada does is changes the players with the same plays. You ran a jet sweep with Deontay Johnson. Now you're just running it with Calvin Austin. It's just the same old same. So that lets you know he's not qualified. You know, Doug Whaley, former Steelers GM, the soon as Matt Canada was hired, he said he didn't believe that Matt Canada was qualified. You know, Steelers played a game, I think it was the Commanders, and you heard it all over the broadcast. They're running the same plays. A defender was caught on a broadcast saying, you know, I mean, all the numbers have been coming out about, you know, the offense, the lack of performance, the yards, you know, under 20 points, of just everything. Stephen A. Smith even had something to say about Matt Canada. You know, Matt Canada is getting he's getting more attention than head coaches. You know, the attention that Matt Canada is getting now normally goes to head coaches. You never really see a offensive coordinator who's only been on the job, you know, in his time frame already. People are just like, they can see it. You know, they can see it. The plays are just, it's just, and then you have your young quarterback in Kenny Pickett, man. I mean, if you don't do nothing with, if you don't do something for him, man, I mean, you're just doing him a disservice, because he don't know what a offense, a real, you know, a good offense is. This is only his second year. He hasn't played in a good NFL offense to say, hey, this is not a good offense. So he's going to endorse, you know, Matt Canada, and he can't come in and say too much. He has stuff to learn, you know, so you can't expect him. And that was his last year. That was last year, his rookie year. So of course he's gonna, you don't want your rookie coming in trying to shake things up. So you have a playbook to learn. You have plays to make. You have an off season to build on. You have chemistry to work on with your guys. So that wasn't Kenny's place to say, you know, oh, I don't want Matt Canada back and this and that. So they bring him back. You know, Matt Canada, the Pittsburgh Steelers win some games. And I think that was just the players just gelling. Kenny Pickett didn't have any time with the ones, because he was third. He started off third string, then he worked his way up, then he was pulled, then Mitchell was pulled, and he was put in. So towards the end, that was just chemistry working. That didn't have nothing to do with Matt Canada, and the Pittsburgh Steelers took it as Matt Canada. That was Matt Canada. You see, we're getting better. That's just a team getting better. Sometimes the team would just say, hey, anytime you see this Pittsburgh Steelers offense do any good recently, that's because it has nothing to do with Matt Canada. If you look at the first game of the season, San Francisco 49ers game, that last drive before the half, you know, when the Steelers marched down and scored the touchdown, and people say, hey, why didn't they keep doing that? Well, that's because that was Kenny Pickett. That was all Kenny Pickett. He called those plays, you know, and when the game was back into Matt Canada's hands, it didn't look nothing like that. You see? So that lets you know, so, and then Big Ben Roethlisberger. The Colts game, the Steelers was down, playing against the Colts. And halftime, Big Ben turned his headset off. Big Ben turned his headset off, and that's when the comeback came. And people was like, why didn't they run that offense in the first half? Well, that's because Matt Canada was calling the offense in the first half. And Big Ben said, the hell with this, because he knows what a good offense looks like. And he knows that wasn't it. And so he was able to say, hey, I've played, in some good offenses. So I know this is not going to bring us back. And a matter of fact, this is probably the reason why we're down. So let's just scrap this, cut the headset off, and boom. Steelers came back, and that was that. So every time, the Steelers offense have any kind of spark and they have any type of fluent motion to it, that's just because of the quarterbacks. And Matt Canada said Kenny Pickett has, he has the ability to change the plays. So hopefully Kenny Pickett takes that and run with it, and hopefully he knows. Well, like I said, he's still young and he's still learning, but man, you have to learn on a fly. If you're Kenny Pickett, because your offensive coordinator is not going to teach you too much and he's not going to put you in the right positions. So Kenny's in a bad place with Matt Canada being his offensive coordinator. And it's just about that time, man. I believe, everybody believe, the fans believe, Matt Canada is just not good. This offense, you talk about it, you have countless players. You got different players, different quarterbacks, one mobile, one not mobile. I mean, different receivers. I mean, what do you want? And then that thing about, the offense that he ran at Pitt that was successful, they say he needs a mobile quarterback. Well, if you look at that offense, he had Nathan Peterman. Nathan Peterman is not a mobile quarterback, so you can just chalk that season up to luck, because who's on that? Nathan Peterman didn't go off to the NFL to light it up. He didn't do nothing. So, I think that was just the players that he had, but around Nathan Peterman, and they were just that good. And it had nothing to do with Matt Canada's offense, in my opinion, because you have that type of offense and then you never have it again. It never rekindles again. I don't think so. That lets you know it was luck. You had one good year and that was it. And the Steelers, the thing about when you do something good at Pitt, the Steelers see it. That's why they got Kenny Pickett. They seen him work at Pitt. So they seen that offense. They had a front seat to that offense. And so they are the ones that jump to, that's why they're having faith in Matt Canada opposed to other teams, because they say, hey, man, we seen this offense, in the facility. They share the same facility. And other teams are like, I don't know what they're seeing. So anytime you do something at Pitt, you have a little success at Pitt, the Steelers are right there like, we can use that. And in this case, I believe they got it all wrong with Matt Canada. He had one good year, and never to have it again. that should tell you something. So the Pittsburgh Steelers are fed up, just like everyone else in Pittsburgh, I can just imagine, with Matt Canada and his lack of play calling skills. So if you know the Steelers, nothing's going to happen during the season, because they could have fired Matt Canada at the end of the season. And then if you look at it now, these next 2 games, man, the Steelers offense is probably going to pick it up. I believe they're going to pick it up. I believe Kenny Pickett is going to get better once he, uses his ability to audible. Once he say, you know what, let me just, I'm better off on my own. Let me draw it up. And I think he's going to play better. And when that happens, you're going to have some people saying, Matt Canada, you see, his offense is working. Look, we're scoring points. You see that? He's not as bad as you think. But and that's what happened last year. You got burned, and I wouldn't let it happen this year. So if you put together a few games during the season, which the Steelers are, they're not just going to be terrible all year on offense. They're going to put together some games, which is going to be Kenny and Pickens and Freiermuth and those guys taking matters into their own hands. That's what that's going to be. But Matt Canada, being the offensive coordinator, he's going to get a little bit of that credit. And hopefully Mike Tomlin's smart enough to know and see that it's just his players stepping up and not Matt Canada. And he do what he needs to do. And that's make the necessary change for the team, your quarterback, everybody, the fans. I mean, it just needs to happen. Boo, Matt Canada was all over Monday Night Football. And you just don't want to have that, because now everybody's asked about it. Kenny Pickett was asked about it. He had to act like he didn't hear it. I didn't hear it. People, Tomlin, he said he likes the fans. He appreciates the fans. So he didn't say nothing bad about it. So that's letting you know, leash may be a little shorter than people think, but it may not happen. It's not going to happen in the season. So we'll just have to see, man. Like I said, Raiders followed by Houston, which I believe was going to be 2 games. The Steelers are going to get their offense back up and running. And hopefully Matt Canada doesn't get any praise for it, because I know it's going to be on the players stepping it up. Well, I don't know, but I can just imagine. You got George Pickens, you got Pat Freiermuth, Allen Robinson, he's a veteran, so, and Kenny Pickett, man, I have faith in him, and I think those guys are going to take over, and Canada just needs to go. Thanks for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bells to get all the new videos. And until next time, I'm out.